Everybody and their mother is coming to AEW.
What up, Mox?
Guys, let's get into the AEW Dynamite Fyter Fest night numero dos. We get into this review and reaction of AEW and this show where it's just more people coming to the company on top of rumors of more people coming to the company. But the first match of the night was the Labors of Jericho match 1. He's taking on Shawn Spears, and the caveat of this match is that Shawn Spears could use his chair because he's obviously the chairman, but Jericho can't. I guess the match it was an okay match. It was pretty solid. There was the one unprotected chair shot that Jericho took to the face, which I thought was pretty interesting. But I think this whole Labors of Jericho, he's gonna have to go through 5 different people in 5 different like crazy ways. You see, match 2 is gonna be the craziest probably. Like how can this be match 2? And how can they top what's gonna be match 2, right? So we'll get to that a little bit. Because it's gonna be kind of crazy, right? So we have that. But I think this would have been better suited for a guy like Sammy Guevara to go through these challenges because it's going to make Jericho. I mean, Jericho's already super over, mega over. He doesn't really need to do this to get to that point. So it's kind of like, I think maybe Sammy Guevara could have benefited a little bit more from this, but we'll see how Chris Jericho gets through this whole thing. He defeats Shawn Spears here. Even after that unprotected chair shot, he kicked out, which was kind of crazy. He took the unprotected chair shot to the face, then the C4 from Spears kicked out, and he still won the match.
Yeah, it was a wild match. Good match. I don't know, that whole Sammy thing. I just it's probably this stipulation is better for a guy like Sammy. Yes, but the feud is between MJF and Jericho. Yep. Like that's been the feud that's been building. Yeah, there's that gripe between MJF and Sammy, like who's the future, of the company or whatever. But I think like the money rivalry right now is between that. So. But I do like the concept. It's a fun concept. I can't really remember them doing it in wrestling where you gotta find like the 5 stages of hell or whatever, maybe. But I'm digging it. I like next week and the big Nick Gage. He's here. He's in AEW. He's on TV. They let the man on national television. Nick Gage is gonna be on TV. God knows what he's gonna pull off next week. He had pizza slicer in hand, ready to cut someone's neck off. Bleed to death. He's ready to die. So God knows what will happen next week.
Yeah, so we got the reveal that Nick Gage is going to be number 2, the phase 2 of this Labor 2 of Chris Jericho, and then Chris Jericho later.
Freaking Gage! What? I thought this guy was in jail. This guy. Oh my God! MDK all day.
And then Chris Jericho later on will say that he's bringing out the Painmaker from New Japan Pro Wrestling, the persona he used there when he took on Tanahashi, Naito, all those guys, Evil. So yeah, I mean, Nick Gage is there after coming off the heels of some Twitter spat between Don Callis, Kenny Omega, and Nick Gage. He's there today, so he shows up. There's gonna be a crazy match. How far can they go on TNT television? Should be pretty interesting to say, because it is Fight for the Fallen. And we'll see that match, but like how far it's a no rules match. It's not technically a death match. They'll probably use like a light tube here and there, just smash it over the back. But I don't think they're gonna go too out of the box crazy with this, even though it is Nick Gage. But I think they might be saving for Nick Gage, Jon Moxley on pay-per-view maybe one day.
Yeah, I mean they have the history together. Mox and him, but damn, I don't know. Is there any controlling Nick Gage? Like I know there's like a script that we're gonna follow. I know Jericho in there. They probably need security around just in case he pops off and goes nuts. I mean, he's a wild. I mean, if you haven't seen his Dark Side of the Ring, you should watch it. You get the full aspect of how crazy of a nut he is. So I mean, we'll see what happens. I'm intrigued. I'm definitely intrigued about it.
He's super over, especially with the fan base that he has. Is very passionate. Yeah. So they could come see him on an AEW, pop a good rating for that. But the next thing on the show was Frankie Kazarian taking on Doc Gallows. Frankie Kazarian is the lead hunter, and the guy he's taking on is Doc Gallows first. But he loses this match. I mean, kind of interesting how like they never really get their comeuppance. The Elite, they've been kind of just running roughshod over everybody for the past like couple months now, ever since the whole partnership with AEW and Impact. Now this is probably the most advertising Impact will get on the show, just by having the Impact tag team champions on the show. Pretty much that's it. But they would beat him down afterwards. Here comes Kenny Omega, then here comes Hangman, then here comes the Dark Order. They start beating each other down, setting up for that big match that they're gonna have. I believe it's that Fight for the Fallen.
Yeah, I mean, this is what the Moneymakers brand, I've been talking about it for like over a year. This is like what it needed to be, where Hangman needed to face Kenny for the title. It's here. They booked it well. I think it's been solid. I even like just Dark Order being involved too, and they just being around the Elite and then feeding off the Hangman, I think they've grown. They were kind of lost for a little bit right after we lost Brody. So it's good to see them back on and doing stuff and being regulars. And but here's the moneymaker. It's Kenny, Hangman. Storyline has wrote itself. They've done a great job over the last, since basically the start of the company. This has kind of this is like the match everybody's been wanting to see for the title. So I'm excited for it. Let's go. We're here. Let's do it. And good job for TNA. They got the titles on there.
Yeah, but for all intents and purposes, like what this ended up doing was kind of killing Frankie Kazarian as the Elite Hunter, because he's taking like the first guy he's taking on in the Elite is Doc Gallows. He loses, he gets his ass beat, and then it's like all about Hangman Page, Dark Order, and all stuff like that. Dark Order benefits by proxy here, just by the fact that this guy, they're probably gonna win the match. He's super over Hangman. He's gonna get his title shot, and we'll see if the tag team titles switch over to Dark Order as well.
Yeah, but I did like the Elite Hunter. Like that was a great call. Like I like the gimmick, especially coming off the end of the tag team. So I mean, it's always probably done, but he still might get comeuppance here and there. We'll see.
I think he needs to not have these guys in matches, but take them out like backstage and in different brawls backstage.
Like sneaking.
Rather than challenging guys and facing them in the ring in a regular match, these other guys, he could be taking them out. Like if he's the Elite Hunter, he should be taking these guys out. That's what he should be doing. Is focusing. I
agree.
But he lost his first match, so kind of, I don't know. Let's see what happens. But the next thing I showed was Darby Allin along with Sting. And I hate when Darby Allin and Sting come out together because it looks like father and son type of thing. I'm not a huge fan of it. But he's taking on Wheeler Yuta with Orange Cassidy. And the match is what it is. Wheeler Yuta, I mean, even though he's kind of dressed like a Power Ranger, his kind of gear, but he's solid in there. I especially like the spot where after Orange Cassidy and Sting do their kind of thing on the outside where they're kind of playing off of each other and doing the lazy kicks and stuff like that, all the while distracting Darby Allin. Wheeler Yuta would get the upper hand here, and I liked his sense of urgency as he kept going for pin, rolling up and kind of going from pin to pin to pin, because he saw that was his opportunity. It was a little nitpicky thing but I really enjoyed that. In the end, Darby Allin hits the coffin drop, and that's a wrap for that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just glad that he's still walking after last week's crazy spot. So just the fact that Darby's there. Yep. Sting Darby thing coming out, I'm kind of over that. I don't think Darby needs Sting anymore. Sting just, I don't know, it just feels like pointless to me at this point. He had his thing in the winter, and so it's just kind of useless. But this guy, I mean, let's see. I mean, so far he's been pretty good. I didn't know about him before in the Indies or whatever. I never saw him until I saw him on TV. So far he's been impressive. His gears, like you said, looks kind of funky, but we'll see what happens. But good match, and Darby's still doing his thing even after losing the TNT Championship.
Yeah, after losing that belt. The next thing on the show was the AEW Women's Championship match. We had Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, the champion, taking on Nyla Rose, the challenger, the former champion. In the end, it was a solid little match. Baker gets the win. She hits the lockjaw, and wins and retains her belt. Where does she go from here? I don't know. The women's division really isn't that strong, and they don't have a lot of competitors to kind of go up against her. So she's poised to hold on title for a while, at least past Rampage, because it will be in Pittsburgh. They want to get that massive pop for her coming out as the champion for Dynamite and Rampage. So obviously she'll stay as champion then, but there's really nobody. Like Thunder Rosa is pretty much the only person that could be on her level, make the comeback and eventually have the match, just because of the match that they had previously. I think that's the only thing that makes sense. But to be honest with you, nobody in the division really seems like they even stand close to taking the title off of her.
No, I mean, especially it was a good match. I like the Eddie Guerrero cheese spot where they were each held the belt, especially with Vicky being there and Chavo coming out. So it's just like a whole thing with the Guerreros in Texas. So it made sense. I dug it. But DMD needed to win. She needs to keep the title. Like you said, Thunder Rose is the only one that needs to make a return, and that would be pretty awesome. It happens in Pittsburgh. Just to lead to the next big feud for her, because there's, like you said, there's not really much depth in the women's division right now.
Yeah, it's really not much. But speaking of Chavo Guerrero, next thing on the show was Tony Schiavone doing an interview with Andrade El Idolo, and obviously Tony Schiavone interviews are never really interviews. You just take the mic from him immediately, and that's pretty much it. So Andrade needs a mouthpiece. He really does. Vicky Guerrero is just not the right person because it just didn't fit, right? He's so serious and cool and sleek, and she's just very loud and comedic about everything. So they announced that his new executive consultant is the Chavo Guerrero. Now,
new executive consultant to Andrade El Idolo, Chavo Guerrero.
Chavo Guerrero. Now, another guy that's in AEW, just another guy taking up another a portion of the television product. Obviously not in ring, but he's there. Now he's there. He's executive consultant for Andrade, kind of working as a mouthpiece, but not really, because he's still letting Andrade cut his own promo, which he just really can't do in long spurts because his English just isn't good enough to like hold it, and he has to keep coming in and out of Spanish, English, Spanish, English. And I think it's hurt this whole thing, because if that triangle comes out, we see Pac and Phoenix finally come back. Still can't stand Alex Abrahantes, can't stand them, but they're out there, and it's just not really good. It isn't, like, the whole point of it doesn't really make much sense. I guess it's just like, he wants Penta and Phoenix to come be with him, but for real, like, there's not really much there, meat on the bone. And it kind of felt like Chavo wasn't really playing the heel part really as he should have been. Yeah, he kind of got lost there, and it's just I didn't think this segment was good at all. It didn't make much sense as to why it was happening. And again, the language barriers were hurting him. He needs a mouthpiece, and he needs to kind of come in, say his stuff, and then it get translated, and he can come in like short spurts of English for him, short spurts of English promos for Andrade, and let his mouthpiece kind of take care of the rest.
Yeah, just this all needed to be way shorter. It went too long, too much going on. Just this guy talking, that guy talking, and it just kind of led to a bunch of like, why do we need to join you? I don't understand. None of this makes any sense. Let's just have a match, call it a day. Good to see Pac back. It was British guy talking, and then we had Latino guys talking. It was all over the place. So just this needs to be quicker, less talking, more fighting. Call it a day, and that's it. Keep it moving, and give us a better reason as to why he would want them in the team, or why he needs a team if he's like his own thing. I don't know. Just like, what's the point of all the teams? Like, you're gonna join my team, I'm gonna join your team for what? What is it helping anyone? So let's just like keep it simple. Keep it simple.
Yeah, there's just not much there. It was really weird. It was an odd segment, to be honest with you. But the next thing on the show, Orange Cassidy versus the Blade. Whatever match, Cassidy gets the win. I mean, not much. I'm not a huge fan of this whole like beef they got, Cassidy and the Blade. Kind of is what it is with Bunny and Chris Statlander. Yeah, I mean, they're kind of just meandering around because they don't have Trent, so they added Yuta to the team. But it's just like they need the best friends need to be back there so they can get the crowd pops and have fun. But they're just not there because Trent is out. So this match was what it was. Cassidy gets the win.
Yeah, just a filler match. It felt Orange Cassidy's been kind of I'm not gonna say floundering, but hasn't been doing anything special for a little bit of a while. So that they need the best friends to get off. Once they're back reunited, I think they'll be a hot tag team again. I think it'll be a hot group, and it'll be back to normal, especially before the pandemic when there was a crowd. Yeah, and then we had this backstage kind of segment where it was them sitting at tables. It was Pride and Powerful and FTR sitting at separate tables, Tony Schiavone in the middle. They got to say their pieces. They're going to face each other at Fight for the Fallen. It's going to be FTR versus Pride and Powerful. Now, it's interesting to see that the hottest tag team feud has nothing to do with tag team titles. So this is the hottest tag team feud. Where are the tag team titles, man?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't really see
them in months. It feels.
Yeah, it feels like, because they haven't really done much of anything super important. The Bucks, they've just been getting heat on everybody and screwing everybody over. Like I said, they at least been screwing everybody over for the past a few months since they kind of got together. So this is what it is. But with this out of the way, we got the main event, Texas Death Match, which is just the last man standing match. It's for the IWGP United States title. Jon Moxley champion taking on Lance Archer in a rematch from when they took on each other in New Japan Pro Wrestling. And this was a wild match. A lot of stuff going on here. Forks,
everything.
Barbed wire, nasty chair spot that just seemed like it destroyed Jon Moxley. Which, saying that, yeah, that's the highlight of the night.
What a maneuver!
So you see that spot right there? He dropped him on top of the two tops of the chairs, destroyed his back. That's the highlight of the night. But the match was really, really good for what it was supposed to be. Physical, violent, blood, all that stuff like that. You love to see it. I still don't understand why Jake is still with Archer, because Archer cuts a solid promo. So he doesn't really need him. He's not cutting the same promos like he used to, Jake, and stuff like that. So he doesn't really need Jake. He needs to drop Jake. But in the end, he throws Moxley through the table with the barbed wire, gets the win.
It's a community fort. And now Moxley, Moxley, the champion, in trouble.
Gets the win, and he's the new IWGP United States champion. And then you had New Japan Pro Wrestling and Bullet Club member Hikuleu come out. He was in the crowd. He comes out. The son of Haku comes out, and he's going to take on Archer next week. for the IWGP United States Championship. So with Bound for Glory coming, it seems like we're going to see a lot of New Japan around AEW because Bound for Glory's got it's like everybody from every other company just come to Impact and have a match. So that we might see some runoff going towards AEW.
Yeah, wild match. I loved it. I thought it was fun. It was like just Mox, man, that guy, you gotta give it to him. He's in crazy matches left and right. That guy beats his body up, and even go back to WWE days. I mean, it's just nuts the stuff that he will put his body through. But yeah, I'm liking this whole, New Japan got the title going back and forth on AEW. I'm digging it. I like it. Good, we got the Murder Hawk Monster. It finally feels important. He finally feels special winning the match the way he did. I agree with you. We don't need Jake anymore. I think he cuts a better promo, and I think Jake is kind of a burden to him because we were just expecting this thing from Jake and kind of putting, Murdoch Monster in the background. So it just kind of makes no sense for him to be around anymore. I think he just needs to do his thing, and we'll see. I never seen what's his name, the Haku's son,
Hikuleo.
I've never seen him before. He's a big guy. We'll see. We'll see what the match is going to be next week. It's not going to live up to this match, I'll tell you that much. So he has big shoes to fill because this was a fun one.
It really was, but that was AEW Dynamite Fyter Fest Night 2. Again, Chavo Guerrero debuted. There's rumors of Daniel Bryan coming to AEW. There's rumors of CM Punk coming to AEW. Everybody and their mother seems to be coming to AEW. They have. It seems like they've gotten more on-screen talent in the short amount of time they've been around than WWE has currently. They just have so many people that are there. We're gonna get Malachi Black versus Cody Rhodes in like 2 weeks, so that's gonna get shotgunned and done with. I don't know, it's just a lot of people there, a lot of mouths to feed, a lot of people to put out there, a lot of stories to build. It's just a lot of moving parts. It will be interesting to see how they work this all in and if those do come to fruition with Daniel Bryan and CM Punk. But those are the rumors that came out today. So that's a review and reaction of tonight's Fyter Fest Night 2 of AEW Dynamite. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Make sure to drop a like on this video, hit the chair in the corner for it first, and sub to the channel. And we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Later, folks.